Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Two guys with 3 MVPs, 2 guys with Rookie of the Years. They both done quite well in this series. Drill deep to right field. Track, wall, see ya, into the judges' chambers. Trout's done it again. His 4th home run of the series, and the Angels take the lead 4-3. Popped up, and it drops. Miscommunication at the wrong time. Runners go again. Lined into left center field. It's a base hit. That'll tie the score. Wells rounding third. They're sending him home. Here he comes. Here's the throw. He's safe. And the Yankees walk it off. And they win 5-4. Caballero comes through. And base running gets the Yankees the victory.
Well, the captain brought out the ice and let the April showers rain all over last night's hero. Jose Caballero completed the comeback victory in walk-off fashion and sent the fans home celebrating. Now the focus shifts to the finale. For the Yankees, the ball goes to Max Fried, hoping to lead the team to a series victory. Let's set the stage and get you ready for the series finale between the Yankees and the Angels on a beautiful Thursday afternoon in the Bronx. Welcome, everybody, to the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Justin Shackle, Todd Frazier with you. And the Yankees are playing the finale here against the Halos. Todd, the Yanks have found themselves trailing entering the 9th. The first 3 games of this series, they won 2 of them. Now they can go for the series win with their ace on the mound today. Let's get to your Hyundai opening comment.
Well, it's not ideal. As a baseball fan and baseball player, you want to be up early and you want to be up often. But guess what? They found a way to win the game. Mistakes do happen, even though it went down as a single as Jazz Chisholm's hit in the 9th inning. But again, Max Fried, go out there, go out and dominate, pitch 7+ innings. The bullpen is basically maxed out. No pun intended. But for him, go out there and pitch your game and know what you do best and go out and throw. He has 5, 6 different pitches. He could throw anytime. He's not scared. He's their ace. Go out and do his job.
We're going to break down Fried further in the show, but one of the bigger questions this afternoon, will the Star Show continue? Aaron Judge and Mike Trout have lit the Bronx on fire this series. Judge, last night, first inning, doing what he does. 88th career homer in the first inning, going the opposite way, Todd.
Yeah, that's what he does best. He knows where his quarters are, finds a fastball right out over the center part of the plate. Look at that swing, guys. That's the perfect swing. And guess what? Trout said, hey, I'm not done yet. I want to hit some homers, too. This guy has 4 home runs in the series in 3 games. Center cut fastball. He loves to play in New York. He's close to home. Little home cooking for him. Family around. Mom and dad were happy. These games have been really exciting. Watching these 2 guys go at it as we see this swing one more time. The triangle with his arms to his shoulders, the backside thunder. He changed his swing just a little bit so he get more power and stay behind the baseball.
Well, the key matchup brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Check this out. You have a pair of 3-time MVPs going toe-to-toe this week in this series. And the most MVPs by right-handed hitters, well, Trout and Judge are the only 2 active. They are the only 2 who can try and go for a 4th at this moment. It's always good, Todd, when you are in a group that features black and white pictures.
Yeah, that's really good. And you see that. They have an opportunity, these guys, or one of them for this year, to get that 4th one and be in some elite company. Really, really cool. Goes to show you we're seeing some really good baseball. If you're a fan of this sport, this might be the only time you see in our generation how good some of these players are.
All right, let's take a look at the Yankees lineup brought to you by Toyota. Trent Grisham will be leading off, followed by Aaron Judge. He has 3 homers this series, 15 homers in 47 career games against the Angels. Ahmed Rosario's at third base, and J.C. Escara will catch this afternoon. So, Todd, you take a look at this lineup. No Ryan McMahon. Yes, the Angels are throwing out a lefty, but they're kind of bullpenning their way to the finish line today. No McMahon at third, despite Max Fried on the mound, a lefty who induces a lot of ground balls to that side of the infield?
Well, I think the biggest thing is hitting. I mean, you can be a great defender, but as you're taught as a youngster, if you're not hitting, they can't find a spot for you. Unfortunately for Ryan McMahon, Booney talked about him. He's working on some things, but this is a what have you done for me lately kind of sport, and right now he just doesn't have it. He's a great defender. I think he will get back on track, but you got to find the bats. You got to find the guys that they're going to hit right now, and unfortunately for McMahon, it's not him.
And this is very much a left-right lineup for the Yankees today, because the Angels, yes, they're starting with a lefty, but they figure to be bullpenning their way all the way this game this afternoon. Our all season long here on Yes, we want to invite you viewers to show us the different ways you support the Bronx Bombers. Use the QR code on screen with the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. We are just getting started here on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. After the break, we'll check in with Meredith Barakovitz at the stadium, and she'll give us more on today's series finale, all right here on Yes and streaming on the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. Call your shot on FanDuel every day with Daily Dinger. Make a free pick for a chance at a profit boost the next day. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Hey Yankees fans, I'm News 12 meteorologist Hope Aselka with your game day forecast. The Yankees are right at home here in the Bronx. It's another summer-like day. At first pitch, temperatures will be in the mid-80s, plenty of sunshine. You'll notice some clouds during the 7th inning, and even by the end of the game, a bit humid out there with a light breeze. So what's your moodcast? How does this weather make you feel? Let us know at News 12 The Bronx. We'll be pushing near 90 degrees this afternoon. Enjoy the game. Back to you.
Hope, thanks so much. Let's head out to the stadium where Meredith Barakovitz is standing by with the Ford Clubhouse Report. Meredith, another walk-off win this series for the Yankees means another happy clubhouse after last night's victory.
Justin, no doubt about it, although this is becoming a house of horrors for Jordan Romano. Consider the fact that he had retired 15 of 17 batters coming into this series. He has retired just 1 of 9 over his appearances here at Yankee Stadium. He's given up 5 runs, a couple last night as well. When you look back at that 9th inning where the Yankees really rallied, it doesn't happen if the baseball gods are not on their side. With 2 outs and Jazz Chisholm Jr. at the plate, a ball falls between Oswald Peraza and Zach Neto that should have been caught. In fact, I spoke to Jazz in the clubhouse today, and he said he was so mad that he popped it up. He was running with his head down. He looked up, realized the ball was on the ground, had to get back to first base, and thought, we are gonna win this game. And then, as we know, eventually Jose Caballero gets to the plate and finishes the job. But even the drama that ensued when we thought it was over, there was a challenge. They had to wait a little while longer. Austin Wells said he wasn't even sure whether or not he was safe, but Caballero told me all along he knew that they had won the game. Now, after the game, I spoke to Caballero on the field, and I asked him how much he likes being in those situations with the game on the line.
I love it. That's the moments I want to be in, and God bless me today again.
Take me through your approach against Romano there with runners on first and second.
You know, he's a great guy. He's a great pitcher. He's been great for quite a bit, and I was just looking for something up and trying to avoid chasing down. That's all, and I could deliver.
Off the bat, did you think you were scoring on that play?
Yes.
When they challenged it, did you have the utmost confidence that you were in fact in?
No.
So take me through that as you're watching, wondering whether or not you scored the game-winning run.
Well, everyone was really excited, so I was excited. Umpire called it safe, so I was treating it like I was safe until otherwise. So, yeah, pretty cool.
I like the pressure. I like the big moments. I like to contribute to the team, and I did it.
And in game one of the series, he doubled off of Romano. He got to third via stolen base, and then he scored the game-winning one, and that one on a wild pitch. Of course, last night he used the bat and got it done. I doubled back with Austin Wells today, too, and asked him about going first to home, and he said, I just started running. I started running. I didn't intend to stop running, and even if they told me to stop going around third, sometimes I continue because it's harder to stop than continue on, as he was joking a little bit, but obviously very happy with the outcome of that one. He also talked a little bit about the bunt he laid down in that seventh inning, saying he had been planning that one all series long, just waiting for an opportunity. It was the right opportunity. Didn't work out in that inning, but he said if we do stuff like that and we move runners, we are going to be okay this season. Also, it helps when you get early contributions from your big hitter like Aaron Judge, who has homered 4 times in his last 14 at-bats. Now, as you guys already mentioned, Austin Wells is not in this afternoon's lineup. Instead, it's going to be J.C. Escarra with Max Fried on the mound. In all 4 of Max Fried's starts so far this season, they've had Ryan McMahon at third base. In fact, when we were in Tampa, I talked to Aaron Boone about that, and he said he just loves the defense that McMahon provides. Today, however, they are going with Ahmed Rosario. I asked him to take us inside those conversations as to why they opted to go with Rosario instead of McMahon at third base.
Part of it is just with them doing a bullpen day and uncertain of I just didn't want to have 6 lefties in there today. Suter I treat as completely neutral anyway, but just how they're matching up, I just wanted to have the balance in the lineup of some left and right just to, make some tougher decisions as they roll through the game.
So Aaron Boone will have some guys on the bench that he can go to late. One in Austin Wells, another one in Ryan McMahon, should he need him out there for defensive purposes. Todd, I heard you talking about it, of Ryan McMahon trying to get on track hitting-wise. We heard Aaron Boone speak about it a little bit, how he thinks he's getting a little closer. And I will tell you this, as somebody that is here every day, Ryan McMahon, as well as others, are working. He's in that cage underneath almost every day trying to work things out. You can tell that he is frustrated by not being able to get things going offensively, but the Yankees continue to reiterate they have confidence that it is going to happen for McMahon this season. Now, a couple of guys are still waiting to get their season started, and that brings us to the injury report brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. You got a pair of pitchers and a position player that are on the mend. Garrett Cole is scheduled to throw for the Somerset Patriots tomorrow. His rehab clock officially starting. Now, with a guy coming back from Tommy John, guys, it's a little bit different. It's a 30-day rehab clock, but you can also extend that 10 days at a time each time should they need a little bit more action out there, a little bit more reps for them to feel comfortable and get built up. Aaron Boone saying that they do want to completely build up Cole. That's the plan right now. Things can change based on need, but it's not going to be a situation where they have him continuing to build up here at the major league level. At least that's not the plan right now. So a big step in the process for Garrett Cole taking the ball for the Patriots tomorrow. Carlos Rodon threw a side session today. He'll throw in another simulated game or live session, whichever you'd like to call it. Yankees wanted a more controlled environment for him, having dealt with that little bit of a hamstring issue, and then, of course, still getting his arm right. They wanted to make sure that they can control that. After that, he will most likely start his rehab clock as well, and Anthony Volpe already has. He played the other day, was 0 for 2, facing Zach Wheeler, who was also on a rehab assignment. When I spoke to Volpe after that yesterday, when he was here at the stadium, he said he felt good. Obviously, offensively, not the results you want, but right now it's about building up, making sure your body physically is okay. He's going to be playing again for the Patriots today, so that continues. All something to keep an eye on, Justin, but all good things when it comes to the Yankees. Aaron Boone's going to have even more options in the next couple of weeks.
Love to hear it, Meredith. Thanks so much. We look forward to seeing you on the broadcast later on with Michael and Paul. And a quick reminder, you can catch Volpe's rehab appearance with Somerset later tonight on Yes and the Gotham Sports app at 6:30. We step aside here on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Coming back, we'll break down what to expect from Max Fried.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com.
It's time for the pregame odds segment presented by FanDuel. For a same-game parlay, let's take the Yankees money line, Aaron Judge to go deep, Cody Bellinger to get a hit, and Max Fried to strike out at least 7. Those odds are set at plus 590. Yankees fans, FanDuel is inviting you to call your shot with Daily Dinger. Make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game. And if you're right, you'll get a profit boost the next day. Get your free pick in now on FanDuel before today's action starts.
Well, Max Fried will make his 5th start of the season here. He is averaging 7 innings per start over his first 4 outings. Todd, what are you seeing from him that's allowed him to begin so well?
Well, first is quality. I think that's the biggest part of him. He's got a bunch of different pitches. He's using all of them. His four-seam fastball has been devastating. Sinker's been great. But I want to talk about that cutter. He's used it on lefties and righties, manipulating the zone. Right-handers, that's cutters coming inside to them. Now they got to think about what position and what place I want to hit. If I'm a right-handed batter, I have to look out over the plate. When you do that, he'll throw that big sweeper and back foot you. He's been dominant. Again, the quality starts are the biggest thing. 8 innings pitched last time. Pretty special player right there.
One of only 3 pitchers in Major League Baseball to go 4 for 4 in quality starts. He'll go for his 5th this afternoon. Let's see who Max Fried will face this afternoon. The Angels lineups brought to you by Toyota. Zach Neto will lead it off once again. Mike Trout, 4 home runs this series. He loves to play at Yankee Stadium. A .344 career average with 12 homers in 33 games in the Bronx. Trout's going to DH today. And for more on today's matchup, let's head back out to the stadium. Jack Curry is standing by.
Thanks a lot, Justin. It's a beautiful day at Yankee Stadium, and as we get ready for Game 4 between the Yankees and the Angels, I want to give you 4 takeaways about this series. Let's start with Aaron Judge and Mike Trout. The 2 superstars have been superstars. Punch, counterpunch, punch, counterpunch. Trout has 4 home runs. Judge has 3. When I spoke to Trout before Game 1 of this series, he talked about how much it meant to him to share the field with Judge, and talked about how impressed he was with what Judge has done in his career. A few hours later, in the Yankee clubhouse, Aaron Judge called Trout the best of the best. Now, a couple things to keep an eye on. Spoke to a scout who, after Trout hit those 2 home runs, said one of those baseballs was hit as hard as he had heard a baseball hit in a long time. That's great news for the Angels. Great news for the Yankees. If you watch Judge at the plate, look at his back hip. Look how he remains anchored in his back hip, because that's all about the timing that he's trying to create to do the damage that he does. Let's go from power hitters to someone who is a pest, and that's Jose Caballero. He is fearless and feisty. Last night he had a 2-run double that was a walk-off and won the game for the Yankees. In Game 1, he had a huge stolen base of third and scored the winning run. I asked him where he got that fearlessness from on the bases, and he said, a coach once said to him, Ricky Henderson stole 130 bases. No one knows how many times he was caught. Jose is right. I did look it up, though. 42 times Ricky was caught that year. Let's turn to the bullpen. David Bednar is a rock at the end of games for the Yankees. He was last night. The Yankees actually had 4 scoreless innings from their pen. That is an evolving story. And Aaron Boone has said they need relievers to emerge. We will continue to monitor that all season. And one other thing to look at is what's going on at third base with Ryan McMahon. It's 5 for 42 this season. I've said several times this year that there are at-bats to be had at third base, and sure enough, Ahmed Rosario is starting today, even though Max Fried is on the mound. And Max Fried throws that cutter inside to right-handed batters. A lot of action at third base, but the Yankees are turning to Rosario. So just something to keep an eye on as Aaron Boone continues to make his lineups. You know what else you want to keep an eye on? Whatever Aaron Judge and Mike Trout do next, because we'll have Yankee baseball coming your way soon.
All right, Jack, one final break on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. We will get Todd's key to the game as we approach first pitch between the Yankees and the Angels. Stick with us on Yes.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com.
Well, the series finale in the Bronx is coming up as the Yankees try to take 3 out of 4 from the Angels. Todd, let's get to your key to the game.
Well, we know one person they need to stop, and that's the Millville Meteor, and that's the guy, when he goes, the Angels go. 4 home runs. He's got 8 RBIs. This guy has been absolutely fantastic. That's Mike Trout. He is on an absolute tear. Playing in New York is where he loves to play. We'll love to see him come to the East Coast eventually. But again, that's the guy you stop. You beat the Angels. And again, you got Max Fried on the mound. That's another good thing.
Kind of a matchup quirk. This is Fried's first time ever facing the Angels, so it's the first time we're seeing Fried versus Trout here.
Yeah, and I think if you're pitching against a guy, Trout, you come hard in and a little bit of up and try that soft stuff away. We'll see what happens. He can hit anything, though. So ultimately, game plan has to be on point.
And the bullpen, 4 scoreless innings last night. You want to see relievers emerge, like Jack was saying, but you also want signature length in innings from Fried.
Length always first for Max. Let him go out there against 7+. I feel like he's going to have a really good performance today.
All right, that's going to do it for us here on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Up next, Michael Kay and Paul O'Neill are on the call with Meredith Marakovitz handling the reporting duties. We will see you on the postgame as the Yankees take on the Angels. It is coming up next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Bottom of the ninth pop-up. Out number 2, right? But the Angels in the infield had other ideas. That opened up the floodgates for the Yankees. And then Caballero doubles into left center field, scoring 2. Austin Wells across the plate. And the Yankees with a walk-off victory. An unlikely one. But they take it because now it is time for baseball. As the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the Yankees against the Angels in the final game of a 4-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball along with Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. Wow, 2 walk-off wins for the Yankees in the first 3 games. So that's the main story. But a big sidebar is the heavyweight fight between Mike Trout and Aaron Judge. It has not been a disappointment. They have come through. 2 of the best players of this generation are showing why. We'll start with Judge.
Well, Aaron Judge, he kind of got warmed up on his last at-bat in Tampa. He hit a big home run, but he came into this series, hit a couple early, and then all of a sudden we see him starting going the other way. You know Aaron Judge is locked in right now.
Now, how about Mike Trout?
Well, Mike Trout has always hit well in Yankee Stadium. Jersey kid, parents in the ballpark last night. You know, Aaron Judge, if you can do it, I'll do it too. 4 home runs, 8 RBIs on the series. Again, it's fun to see these 2 go at it.
Heavyweight bout, the tail of the tape, 5 for 14 for Trout, 4 home runs, as Paul mentioned, the 8 runs batted in. Aaron Judge, 4 for 13, 3 home runs, and 4 runs batted in. What do they have for us this afternoon? Now, Max Fried's going to get the start for the Yankees. When he's on the mound, he's a ground ball pitcher to third. You usually see that guy, Ryan McMahon, at the hot corner. Not today. It's going to be Rosario. Why? Boone tells Meredith next.
There was a lot of late-night drama in the Bronx last night. It was a wild walk-off win, the second one of this homestand. The Yankees look to continue their success this afternoon. Final game of the 4-game series with the Angels coming your way on Yes in just a few minutes. Hey, everyone, I'm Meredith Marakovitz. The Yankees are sending their ace Max Fried to the mound this afternoon, and in every one of his previous 4 starts, it was Ryan McMahon getting the nod at third base. Today, however, Aaron Boone opted to go with Ahmed Rosario. I asked him what made him make that decision earlier today.
You know, I have confidence in Rosie, too, but part of it is just with them doing a bullpen day and uncertain of I just didn't want to have 6 lefties in there today. You know, Suter I treat as completely neutral anyway, but just how they're matching up, I just wanted to have the balance in the lineup of some left and right just to, you know, make some tougher decisions as they roll through the game.
And Rosario has started a third of the games this season at the hot corner. There is one quick other note when it comes to that lineup. Austin Wells has the day off, just day game after a night game. He'll be available off the bench, so it'll be J.C. Escarra behind the plate. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, Max Fried gets the ball. First pitch next after the break.
Yankee Stadium used to have some big boxing matches, and this one, a lot of haymakers being thrown. See the numbers on Aaron Judge with a home run yesterday. Mike Trout, 4 home runs in the first 3 games. What do they have in store for round 4? We shall see as the Yankees take on the Angels. Will there be a knockout blow? Trout, Judge, as the Yankees take the field. It has been fun. It has been as advertised. Sometimes you blow something up, and it's a letdown. This matchup has certainly not been. Max Fried taking his warm-ups, and we're going to take a look at the Angels starting lineup. Zach Neto, the shortstop, will lead off. Then Trout's the DH today, batting second. Joe Adell in right field hits third. Oswald Peraza at third base. Vaughn Grissom, the second baseman, bats fifth. And then Nolan Shonewell at first base will bat sixth. Bottom third of the order, Darno behind the plate, Josh Lowe in left, and Bryce Teodosio is in center field. He's going to bat ninth. He made a great play in the 9th inning yesterday when he came in for defense in left field. And they will be facing Max Fried. 4 starts. This will be start number 5, 2-0, 1.93 ERA. And let's check out the Nissan pitcher scouting report on the veteran lefty.
Well, he's 4 for 4, and he's not even a hitter, Michael. But his 4 starts this year have all been tremendous. Over 6 innings a start, and he's given up no more than 3 runs. And he pitches off the fastball. You hear about all of his pitches, 7 pitches. He controls them all, don't get me wrong. But everything is based off his fastball. Can hit the mid to upper 90s if he wants to. And in the yard, no home runs allowed this season. It's kind of one that you read, Michael, just daring things to change. But you got to remember Mike Trout. You got to kind of pitch around him as hot as he is here in Yankee Stadium.
Let's check out the Yankee defense, which is brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Bellinger, Grisham, and Judge in the outfield left to right. Rice, Chisholm, Caballero, and Rosario at third. J.C. Escarra behind the plate. And let's check out more on Rosario, the CarShield defensive player profile. First game at third base in a Max Fried start. And so far at third base with the Yankees, he's -1 outs above average. And you just had the feeling that they were going to go with McMahon every time Fried pitches. But McMahon has struggled offensively. He has just 5 singles on the season. So they're going to go with Rosario and hope that Rosario makes the plays behind Fried. So Zach Neto took total blame for the drop pop-up in the 9th inning yesterday. He said, I'm the shortstop, I have to make that call. That was a catch that should have been made. Open up the floodgates. Jazz Chisholm reached. Wells then walked. And then obviously the big hit by Caballero to win the game. Neto's ready. Fried's ready. Let's do it. Here in the Bronx. First pitch up and in, and we're underway. Will Little, the home plate ump. Ryan Addington at first. Ryan Wills at second. And the crew chief, Lance Barksdale, is over at third. Now, I know it's not summer yet, but this is a summer day. This is a beautiful summer day matinee on April 16th. Just a gorgeous afternoon in New York City.
You better enjoy it, Michael. I just happened to watch the weather. We actually got home for the news last night because the game was so quick. Highs are in the 40s again on Monday.
Really?
Yeah, that's just for fun. Huh?
Well, I'll be heading to Boston, so.
Well, it's probably the 30s there, so not going far.
Angels are 9-10. The Yankees are 10-8. Pitch upstairs, 2-2. Yankees trying to win this series 3-1. Coming up next for the Yankees will be the Kansas City Royals, and they are struggling. They've lost 3 in a row and 6 of 8. And their strike 3 as Neto is down looking, and he is challenging the call.
The batter is challenging the pitch.
ABS powered by T-Mobile. Let's see what it shows. Bad challenge.
It looked pretty good. Right into a changeup. It was pretty much spot on bottom of the strike zone. Well, 0-for-1, Michael. Remember game 1, they lost all their challenges like in the second inning.
Let's check out Will Little. The umpire scouting report brought to you by your local Kia dealers. He's considered neutral. Only one before that was overturned. 10 challenges of calls of Little at home plate. That's pretty good.
I was going to say, the umpires, you're really going to see a true number on, it's almost like a batting average. You know, the guys that have challenges and have good numbers.
There's a strike to Trout. At Yankee Stadium, Trout has done very, very well. In 33 games, he's hitting .344 with 12 home runs and 25 ribbies. But, Paul, if this doesn't tell the story of Trout with the Angels record in those 33 games, 9-24.
Yeah, you know, he has been out there just kind of playing to a level nobody else does, but it hasn't shown up in championships. It hasn't shown up in playoffs. And, you know, it's the thing about baseball. You can't have one star player. You've got to have a good team.
Yeah, you put one star player on an NBA team. They might not win a championship, but they're going to be so much better.
Yep.
But this guy only comes up, what, 4 or 5 times a game. A star player doesn't change the calculus on a baseball team. And they had 2 of the greatest players of the generation for 6 years in Ohtani and Trout, and still they couldn't do it.
Yeah, you've seen so many teams put together that way, and you know, with just the star power, but the surrounding players, because of financial things, you just don't surround them with a good enough team.
3-2. Fly ball. Judge goes toward the line. He's there to make the play for out number 2.
That's a sigh of relief. I mean, it seems like every time he comes up, there's somebody on base, and he's putting one in the seats. So, you know, Max Fried, I'm sure, kind of went over things. Do we need to change things? Something has to be done because Mike Trout is killing us.
Here's Joe Adell. He's been hitting the ball very well last 9 games, hitting .359, 14 for 39. In this series, 4 hits and 13 at-bats.
I was telling you, Michael, the other day, I was talking to him, really nice guy, but I was watching some of the balls he was hitting in batting practice. I'm like, my goodness, I haven't seen any like this since Aaron Judge. And then I saw a stat from StatCast. He hit a ball in the minor leagues, which is the longest home run to this date from StatCast, 514 feet.
Wow.
So power's not an issue.
(2-0) on Joe Adell. Now 3-0. So Scar behind the plate catching Fried. And that's a 4-pitch walk. How about that? Now we're going to see what the Angels do when it comes to running, because since the beginning of last year, Ascar has only thrown out 1 of 23 attempted base stealers.
Yeah, Angels not, I mean, no huge number stolen base-wise. I mean, Trout has a couple, Peraza has a couple, but other than that, yeah, you're right. The only reason they would start running is because of the numbers behind the plate.
Right down the line, fair ball, it's gone. It is gone. A home run for Peraza, having a big series offensively. And that's the first home run allowed by Fried this year. And it's 2-0 Angels.
Well, it looks like Peraza has something to prove here, just in the back of his mind. The Yankees, you know, this is, I got to prove that I used to be there and I did belong. But he just looks so much more comfortable. Nothing to live up to. Another early lead for the Yankees.
Angel Lano's been very impressive in the series. aggressive at bats. Here's Vaughn Grissom, and there's a strike.
You see Max Fried trying to get that ball in, and it's just out enough where Peraza's always been quick inside, and to be able to keep it fair means that your swing is getting to the inside part of the ball instead of hooking it foul.
Slow roller. Fried, 4 Gold Gloves, fields, and gets Grissom for the final out. But the Angels with the Peraza home run score 2. Yankees coming back. Well, the Yankees are down 2-0 before they take a swing. The Angels are pretty much doing a bullpen day, and this is the Yankee lineup. Trent Grisham in center field leads off, then Judge and Bellinger. Giancarlo Stanton will clean it up. Ben Rice will bat 5th. Ahmed Rosario, the third baseman, bats 6th. Bottom of the order, Jazz Chisholm at 2nd. Jose Caballero, the two-run walk-off double last night. He'll beat shortstop J.C. Escara, who's looking for his first hit of the year. He's catching and batting 9th. And it's Brent Suter on the mound for the Angels. 6 games, 0-1, 2.03 ERA, strikeout per inning. So let's find out more about Suter. Let's check out the Nissan Pitcher Scatter Report.
Well, he likes to slow it down. His average fastball, 86.5 miles an hour, which is the slowest in the major leagues. But he acts like he's double parked, the old saying says. He pitches like he's the fastest worker in all of baseball. Well, a little over 11 seconds per pitch. And who's next? Well, it's a bullpen game. He'll probably give you a couple, and then you start filing them in.
So the lefty against the lefty, Grisham, as we start the bottom of the first inning. Grisham 3 for 10 in this series. First pitch is low, 1-0. See Grisham's numbers, but he has the 11 ribbies. He's 4 for 12 this year with runners in scoring position. Now, since last season, Trent is hitting 176 against left-handed pitching. And in yesterday's game against a left-hander, Pomeranz, they went to Goldschmidt to pinch hit for Grisham. So Aaron Boone has been aggressively using the men that he has on the bench for pinch hitting appearances. He wants to get the matchup that he prefers.
Yeah, it was probably a surprise for Grisham and a little of a hot streak. I mean, starting again against a lefty, it just that Paul Goldschmidt is so good against lefties. In that situation, you know, he hit a line drive, and Pomeranz tough on lefties, and Aaron Boone just elected to roll the dice and try to get a big hit.
And then, as Caballero got the double, waiting on deck was Ahmed Rosario, a right-handed hitter, to pinch hit for Ryan McMahon against the righty Jordan Romano. Grounded to second base. Grissom gets Grisham. 1 away. We'll check out the Angels defense, brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Lowe Teodosio, who's an outstanding outfielder. He's in center. Joe Adell right. Peraza, Neto, Grissom, and Shonowell third to first. Travis d'Arnaud gets his first start behind the plate. Has been a hoppy for the first 3 games.
You know, Michael, you were talking about, you know, the game-winning run yesterday, and Rojas, you really got to give him props because you got to know as a third base coach who is on deck. Is the matchup good? Are you going to score with a man on third, 1 out? And if you watch that play over and over again, Wells being in motion, he had just rounded second base when the left fielder got the ball. So it was almost like he started there. And obviously a perfect throw, he's out, but the ball was up the line just enough. So you just got to coach aggressively and hope that they don't make perfect defensive plays. And that's the way it ended up.
Tell you what, when you watch that replay, all right, so the double goes to left center. Trout fields it. And I think that he never thought that Wells was going to try to score. And he didn't throw as hard as he could to Neto, who's the cutoff guy, and Neto was angled more towards second than toward home. Right. And Neto made a pretty good throw home, but it was slightly at the first baseline. That's all they needed.
Yep.
Whoop, drilled to left field, going back low. He's on the track, looking up. See ya! Another home run for Judge. His 89th first inning home run in his career, and it's 2-1 Angels.
Boy, when Aaron Judge gets hot, he's fun to watch, Michael. I mean, all hitters get hot at times, but all hitters will throw out some hits. When Aaron Judge gets hot, you don't want to leave your seat because probably one's going to end up in the seats. And he, like I said, that last home run in Tampa really got him going for this series. Off to the races again today. Give us a little wink there, Eric. Thank you.
So he came into the day tied with Yordan Alvarez of the Astros, leading the American League with 7 home runs. Now, Judge takes the lead with 8. That one's lined into left center field. That is going to be a base hit. Teodosio cuts it off. Going for 2 is Bellinger. The throw has him in plenty of time. 2 away.
All right, so you know what? You're hit the ball in left center field. Cody Bellinger, you've got good speed. Just like I was saying before, you run the bases as if they're not going to make a perfect throw, possibly, and that's what he did. Well, he made a perfect throw. Well, he's out. So better here than last night with a perfect play.
Teodosio can go get him with anybody. A really good throw to Grissom, and Bellinger was out by a lot. There's a strike to Stanton. Stanton 2 for 12 in this series, and he struck out quite a bit. That one right back to Suter. And that'll do it here in the first. But we told you about the heavyweight bout, Judge and Trout. Judge now ties Trout with 4 home runs each of them has in this series. This one, when it lands, gives the Yankees a run. It's 2-1 Angels. Couple of home runs, a 2-run shot by Peraza, a solo shot by Judge. It's 2-1 Angels as we go to the second. Nolan Shonowell will lead off. And he pops up the first pitch. Rosario on the run, foul territory, near the seats, but it's about 5 rows back.
You know, Michael, that's a good call. I just looked down there when you said that. I started counting the rows. 1, 2, 3. Yep, right in the 5th row.
Really?
Yeah.
Total guess by me.
That's pretty good.
Shonowell 1 for 9 in this series. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 in the order. Left field, Bellinger fights the sun and wins the fight. 1 away. Play FanDuel's daily dinger for free every day for a chance at a profit boost if your selected player hits a home run. And here are the featured home run odds for today's players. Stanton with a home run, plus 310. Ben Rice with a home run, plus 270. Here's Travis d'Arnaud. Logan O'Hoppe has started the first 3 games. Day game after night game, you give your regular catcher a rest. That's what the Yankees are doing with Wells and what the Angels are doing with O'Hoppe. d'Arnaud, good veteran backup catcher. Knows his role. 1-1. d'Arnaud's 37 years old. 14th big league season. As they say, he's modeled a lot of uniforms. Mets, Dodgers, Rays, Braves, and now the Angels.
It's kind of a perfect job for, you know, like a veteran player and, you know, knows how to catch, knows how to play, and is not going to, you know, whine and cry when he doesn't play every day.
Also signed a nice contract to be the backup catcher. 2 years, $12 million. This is the second year of the deal. First year didn't go well. He didn't hit last year. 197.
Old hair coming out of there at the top of that helmet. See that?
Tapped. Right side. Chisholm makes the play. 2 away.
Max Fried being very tough on lefties, obviously, because of his stuff and just his ability to throw the ball inside, breaking balls away. Only 2 left-handed hitters in the lineup for the Angels. Shonowell, and right here, Lowe.
Lowe 1 for 7 in the series. And there's a strike. One and one. Thinking about this, Paul, it was generally accepted after that first road trip. Oh, Judge is off to a slow start. Well, it's April 16th. He has 8 home runs, and there's a lot of games remaining in April. He could be off to a great start in the first month.
You're just so, last year he got off to that monumental start where, he was hitting 400 and home runs. But Aaron Judge is so confident, and why wouldn't you be with the talent that he has? It's, if he gets off to a bad week, who cares? He can throw up 5 or 6 home runs in a week, which he has.
Yeah. Now he leads the majors in home runs with 8. Count 3-2. Teodosio is on deck. Fouled away. The Yankees' home run record, home runs through April, set in 2007. Alex Rodriguez hit 14.
Pretty good start, isn't it?
Pretty good start. And you want to prorate it, Yankees have 3 games against the Royals coming up, starting tomorrow, and then a 9-game road trip, 3 at Fenway, 3 in Houston, and then 3 in Arlington. So a lot of games for Judge to do more damage. Soft ground ball. Jazz Chisholm flips to Rice to get low, and Max Fried retires the Angels in order. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Nissan. Hop into a Nissan Rogue and hit the road to adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. By Tunnel to Towers, donate $11 a month and amplify your impact. With a car or land donation, go to T2T.org. And by Hyundai, test drive a new Hyundai today only at your local Hyundai dealer.
Now, we saw Mickey Rivers. Now we see Reggie Jackson. We were going into some Mickey Rivers stores yesterday talking about it. He was a solid player, no doubt about it. But some of his quotes, there was one where Reggie told him his IQ was 160 to 165. And Mickey looked at him and said, "Is that out of 1,000?" Like, only these things happen in the field, and they last forever.
There's also a story, and Willie Randolph has backed this up, that Mickey used to always go to George Steinbrenner for advances on a salary for whatever reason. And he had gone up before a game, and George Steinbrenner gave him an advance in cash.
Yeah.
And he put it in his back pocket of his uniform. And he was trying to get to second on a hustle double. And all the money fell out of his pocket. It was all over the infield.
Like a slot machine out there.
They're challenging, and the Angels challenge.
The pitch is strike. The batter is out.
They challenge correctly. And Ben Rice goes down. Imagine the money all over like the infield.
You know what? Now they'd probably be hundreds. Back then it was ones, right?
Well, he remained face down on the infield because he was covering up the money. He didn't want it to blow away.
Michael, Mickey Rivers is usually at Yankees fantasy camp, and he tells this story almost every year. And he wanted to stop and pick up the dollars. His teammates are screaming, "Run, Mickey! Run, Mickey! You're trying to score!" And he's on the ground trying to get those dollars. Kept in his pocket the rest of the game.
Grounded third base. Peraza gets Rosario. Mickey Rivers was the name that Yankee last night. They got him from the Angels in the trade for Bobby Bonds, along with Ed Figueroa, who came over to the Yankees.
Now look at that. Do you see that glove?
It's the old Saranac batting glove, and you'd only know that if you played in the 70s and 80s. They had little wristbands on them, the Velcro, so they were kind of uncomfortable. So batting gloves have come a long way, but it's the first thing I noticed about that picture.
0-1 on Jazz Chisholm. Jazz kind of got a gift single in the bottom of the 9th inning on the pop-up that fell untouched by Neto and Peraza.
And you saw Mickey Rivers batting glove with that Velcro, and you see Jazz Chisholm, the relaxed look. You don't even put the Velcro things together, just kind of wide open and comfortable.
The batter is challenging the pitch.
Well, that was called the strike, and Jazz Chisholm thinks it's not. Presented by T-Mobile, and Jazz is wrong.
The pitch is a strike.
So both teams have lost
New York
a
has one challenge
and
remaining.
both the Angels and the Yankees have one challenge remaining. Still 1-2. So Jazz has not been great with the challenge system. 5 challenges and only 1 call overturned. I'm wondering, as the season moves on, and if it's become clear that there's some batters that just aren't good at it, that managers say you can't challenge anymore.
Michael, it used to be batting average, RBIs, at bats on the back of your baseball card. Now we're going to have pitches challenged. Huh?
ABS challenge, yeah.
That's right. What's your percentage in ABS challenges?
Well, there's a lot of variables, and you mentioned this earlier. We told you Will Little coming into this game was challenged 10 times. 1 call was overturned. So that means that's a positive reflection of him. Jazz still looking for his first home run. He's got 18 games to start the season without a home run. His previous skid at the start of the season without a home run was 6 games. He did in 2020 and 2021, so he's tripled that. Almost hit him. Works the walk, and you just wonder, so much of this game is mental, Paul. Did Jazz put all the heat on himself and put himself behind the 8 ball when in spring training he said he was going to be 50-50 this year?
Well, you put those lofty goals, you can keep them in your head, that's
right.
No problem. But when you get them out there publicly, then you got to live up to them. And, to put those kind of goals out there, you better get off to a good start because, like you said, you're not going to hit 50 until you hit your first one. You just have to really rationalize in your mind, what a home run is, all right? Because if you try to hit it, and everybody goes through droughts. 10 games or so, you start threatening, you know what, I haven't hit a home run. So you would break it down. What is a home run? A home run is a good swing on a bad pitch. So you can't force the pitcher to throw a bad pitch, and you can't force yourself to take a good swing. So I used to always try that, and then I would go up and try to hit a home run, and then I'd step out of the box and say, didn't we just discuss this to myself? Didn't work.
Runner goes. Ball foul back. Well, I saw there was a show where there was a baseball player talking to a guy named Kramer. He said, it's not easy to hit home runs.
No, who was that guy?
I don't know, but he was good.
He had dark curly hair back then too. Huh? Who was that guy?
That guy's still getting checks for that line.
Not a lot, believe me.
The 0-2. Pops up in the air, grabbed by Darno. I will tell you this, Paul. I don't compliment you that much, but I've seen that scene a lot because I watched Seinfeld rerun. You were really good.
Is that right?
Was it a lot of takes?
No, we had 2. I practiced a lot. I had no idea. At the time, it was such a cool thing, obviously, because it was kind of revolving around George Costanza and the Yankees and all those things, so it made it fun to watch. But actually, we were playing the Anaheim Angels, and we were out in Anaheim. They picked me up in a car that morning, went to the studio. He was putting makeup on. Kramer came in, was acting crazy. I'm like, is he in character? And I'm thinking to myself, no, I guess he's just crazy. And, we did a couple takes, and I was back to the hotel, and I think Chuck Finley threw that night, which wasn't a good thing.
I mean, just the way he said, how'd you get in here? I mean, you used to say that to me, so I knew it was real.
Yeah, that's right. It was a line I use a lot.
Yes. That was a weird pickoff throw. Had a little loop to it. You're not going to get many players that way. There's a line drive to left field, falls in front of Lowe, so a base hit for Caballero. He's starting to heat up a little bit in this series. He's 4 for 12.
Yeah, he had a couple big hits down in Tampa Bay, which both of them in one game could have been game winners, and it ended up not. But has really got him starting. You see much more confident at the plate. A huge hit last night, obviously. So he certainly is coming around offensively. Well, you got good speed on the base, and you remember last night, Jazz not afraid to get in motion off second base.
There's Escara looking for his first base hit of the year. He's 0 for 11. It's hard, you would think, for a backup catcher to keep his swing. I mean, you play pretty much once every 5 days. But that's the job, and you have to do it. Runners go. Good jump. Throw to third. Not in time. Double steal. 8th stolen base for Chisholm, 7th for Caballero.
That's good time. You've got good speed on both sides. Again, we were taught very difficult to steal third with a lefty at the plate. But Jazz, with his wheels, the jump he got, he's pretty sure he can get there. Now you got an opportunity to drive in 2 instead of 1 with a base hit.
One thing, Paul, he's on pace for over 50 stolen bases, so he got that part right.
That's right. Maybe he said that in the quote. It was either or. I'm going to hit 50 home runs or steal 50 bases.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
No.
Fouled away. He's on pace for 68.
Nice. Just looking at Suter in the stretch. Have you ever seen anybody hold the ball that far from their body when they come to a pause there? Really seems to me like it would give the hitter an advantage to really see the ball well, way away from his body.
Two and two. He's working from the extreme first base side of the rubber.
Yeah, that's really deceptive for a lefty because it makes him like crossfire. I mean, you're throwing it behind a left-hander where you just pick up the ball late. I've said it many times, Michael. I never understood how you could hit with sunglasses. It just didn't work for me. Your depth perception was off a little bit. Gee, Escara with the glasses. Saw Grisham on deck with the glasses.
So JC has worked the count full. Yankees down 2-1. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Chisholm's at third. Caballero's at second. Good speed on the bases for the Yanks. The payoff. Foul ball. We told you there's a bullpen game for the Angels. This will definitely be the final inning for Suter. See how they piece it together after this. Right down the middle, and Escara is down looking. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base in scoring position. We go to the third.
Welcome back to Yankee Stadium. Michael, you mentioned last inning the gift that the Yankees received in the ninth, the ball dropping off of Jazz Chisholm Jr.'s pop-up in between Zach Neto and Oswald Peraza. Jazz said he was so angry that he popped it up in that spot that when he got to first base, he was running with his head down. He eventually realized that the ball had dropped and thought to himself, we are winning this game. There is no way we are going to lose this one. That set the stage for Jose Caballero, who eventually walked it off. And it seems as though there is something about clutch situations that just work for Caballero. So far this year, with runners in scoring position, 2 doubles. He's hitting 400, and he's driven in 6 in those spots. I asked Caballero what he likes about coming to the plate when the game is on the line, and he told me everything. He lives for those situations. When I spoke to Aaron Boone, what it is about his mentality that seems as though it brings out the best in him, and he said he loves the action. It is clear. He's confident. He's a guy that thinks he is the best player on the field at all times, and that certainly works for him. He said the bigger the stage, the more he seems to dig in, and the Yankees love it when he does. Michael?
Yeah, it's good to have that clutch gene, that's for sure, and he seems like he does. The 0-2. And he knows, I mean, he sees Anthony Volpe around. He knows that Volpe today is going to play 2 straight games, today and tomorrow, then be off and then play another 2. And, you know, it's a matter of time before he's here, but that doesn't mean that Caballero just becomes a bench player. They intend to use him all around, so he can play a lot, just not have one position, as Teodosio goes down on strikes.
Yeah, I meant when we were in spring training to really get an answer of if Caballero gets off to an unbelievable start. You see Max Fried put him away, the little cutter in on his hands. If you get off to an unbelievable start, is it just you slide Volpe in anyway? He is your shortstop no matter what. But, you know, Caballero did not get off to a great start. He's had a great week now. So, you know, you have some decisions to make. But, again, he can play a lot of positions for you.
Well, Paul, I asked Boone over the winter, what happens if Caballero's hitting 350 when Anthony comes back? He said, let's see him hit 350.
It's an easy way of saying we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And he didn't say that as if he didn't think he could hit 350. He said, I'll make that decision when I have to make that decision. When Brian Cashman was asked about it, he said, that's a manager's call. He said, that's not a front office call. He said, Aaron Boone will decide how to use the players that are on the roster. Swings at the 3-0 pitch. And skies it to center. And Grisham puts it away. And that's going to bring up Trout.
Well, this is much more the way you want to face Mike Trout. Two outs, nobody on. If you get behind, you don't give in.
Now, Trout's had a big series, Paul, and he's also commented that he's kind of changed his approach just a little bit up at the plate.
Yeah, there's little things you can do as you go through the game. You can tweak things. You can move your hands. You can move your feet. And if you watch this, all right, this is last year. Watch his back foot. Kind of stays there, separates really well, obviously, does everything right. He hits this ball out of the ballpark. But early in the year, you might feel as a hitter, I'm not really staying back, so I got to do something to get back to that spot. And what he's doing this year is he's actually moving this back foot. Watch the back foot. That just a little reminder, and he kind of separates a little bit more, gets to that same spot, but he's back on, he can really drive against that front side. And again, even the greatest players, you look at Mike Trout, continually tweaking with things to make him better.
Usually that front foot is the trigger foot. It's almost like 2 triggers he has, back and then front.
Yeah, if you look at that, you think he's worried about staying behind the ball. Now, if you look at Stanton, and I watch when he starts like stomping that front foot where he's not light on it, you can tell he's not balanced. And when he is balanced, that's when he starts hitting the ball hard.
And Trout works a walk. You know, there's some great players that change their stance all the time. Cal Ripken Jr. all the time. Mattingly changed a lot.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it can even be day to day. It can be year to year. But it can be, you know, I don't feel quick today. I better open up a little bit. You know, I'm pulling off, so I'm going to close a little bit.
Drops a breaking ball in there for a strike. 0-1 on Adele. Sounds like a broken bat. Foul ball. And Adele's getting a new piece of lumber. How about that? He got the new bat. Didn't put any kind of pine tar on it.
They must have a lot on his gloves from the last one. You call that a pearl there, Michael? Just right out of the box. No pine tar on it, nothing.
Chasing back Trout. Soft ground ball. Josh Chisholm fields and gets Adele, and that'll do it. That's round 4 of the heavyweight bout between Trout and Judge. And in the first round of round 4, Judge hit a home run. He's coming up. Bottom of the inning. Stay tuned. Time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Now, today's picture is of Daniel and Max, but not any Max. That little guy's name is Max Fried. Yeah, he was here at the stadium earlier this week, so he missed being able to see Max Fried pitching today. Pretty cool. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and mention yes in pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game. Little Max Fried.
And Michael, I met little Max at the stadium the other day, and he was so excited to tell me he was a lefty too, just like the Max that we saw on the mound today, or see on the mound today.
Hopefully, little Max Fried's watching. Might be in school.
He did add he doesn't have as many pitches, at least not yet. Working on it.
Batter is challenging the pitch.
That's called a strike, and Trent Grisham doesn't think so, so he's going to challenge the ABS system powered by T-Mobile.
The pitch is a strike.
And it is a strike. The Yankees are out of challenges. Aggressive. I'll tell you what, I don't know why you would challenge the first pitch. I understand 0-1 count, 1-0 count, but you have one challenge remaining. Now you have none. So you could have bad calls against you late in the game, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to go over situations. Nobody on base, lead off. I mean, this is not a time to challenge unless you're sure, maybe with 2 strikes, like you said. But, you know, God forbid it's bases loaded.
Yeah.
There's a tough call end of the game.
Well, they keep Suter in, obviously, to face Grisham here. Count 3-1. And he ends up walking Trent Grisham. And I think that's going to do it, as they'll call on Nick Sandlin, one of the right-handers in the bullpen. So Suzuki has not yet signaled, but he will in a moment. There's the clap. Takes the ball. Sandlin against Judge. When we come back, Yankees down by 1 in the 3rd. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Ford stores, proud to be the official SUV of the Yankees. And by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. So Nick Sandlin, first out of the bullpen in a bullpen game for the Angels. You see the numbers, 19 games last year, 2.20 ERA, about a strikeout per inning. So he'll have to face Judge. Hit his 8th home run of the year in the first inning, his 89th first inning home run in his career. Foul back.
Well, you asked the other night, what have they done wrong with Mike Trout? Well, you saw earlier in the game Mike Trout walk because there was nobody on base in front of him. And this is a great situation for Aaron Judge, as hot as he is. By Grisham getting on, you don't have a lot of wiggle room to try to pitch around Aaron Judge.
Sandlin, 29 years old, side armor, and he started throwing that way in high school. 6 big league season. Grisham is on first after the walk. He's 5th in the American League in walk percentage. And he's at 20%, which is a great number. Rice is 3rd at 20.9%. That's why we use the phrase under the hood. Grisham coming into the game hitting 164, but his on-base percentage is representative because he's getting on base so much with walks.
Been a popular term so far this year. I've heard it a lot this year.
Under the hood?
Under the hood.
High fly ball, left field. Low. Puts it away. Judge has 4 home runs in the series. The exit velocity of each of those home runs presented by Spectrum. 116.2, 111.4, 105.7, and 105.1.
Yeah, that first inning, 116. I remember that. That was an absolute missile. He just missed his 5th of the series right there. A little breaking ball with just enough at him where he got under it.
Bellinger, 1-0. Laced a line drive in the left center field in the first inning, cut off by Teodosio. Bellinger was thinking 2 all the way, and that got thrown out by about 3 or 4 feet. Trying to stretch it into a double. Runner goes. Throw to second. Got him. Darno throws from his knees, and a good tag by Neto.
Well, you see now what they are teaching major league catchers, and that is to throw the ball towards the first baseline side of second, which you tag the runner before he gets there. And I don't know why it's taken this long, but it really is effective if done well. You see his catch and tag as you go by, and it makes it an easy call for the umpire before the runner gets to the base.
Come on, come on.
And a walk to Bellinger. There's Stanton. High fly ball deep center. Teodosio back on the track at the wall. See ya! Into Monument Park. A 2-run shot for Stanton. And the Yankees lead 3-2.
Well, 446. Okay, that's his second home run of the year. He went off the center field wall the other night, but strikeout-wise, he's been struggling a little bit lately. But, you know, he's such a veteran that he knows sooner or later one swing can turn things around. That's one of those one swings right there.
Rice takes inside.
I mean, you just say this like, it's just 446. I mean, you don't realize 446 is an absolute missile. And it's not like Stanton hits high, towering fly balls. Those are like borderline line drives. Pure strength is a ball right there.
Now, you saw the stat. It's the 61st game where Judge and Stanton had homered in the same game. The previous 60 games, Yankees are 53-7.
You saw that sidearm delivery and trying to throw a two-seamer with, you know, a little action sinking away, and it just kind of just spun right in the middle of the plate.
Three and two on Rice, who struck out looking in the second.
Again, I can't imagine how fun it would be as a hitter to know that if you hit it good, center field, left field, right field, it really doesn't matter. Aaron Judge, Big G, it doesn't matter if they pull the ball or if they go the other way. If they make solid contact out in front of the plate, it's gone.
A lot of power right there in that shot.
A lot of home runs, too.
Ground ball second base. Grissom gets Rice, and that'll do it. But a walk to Bellinger, and then Stanton, who's been struggling, crushes one into Monument Park, where the Ghosts live. Yankees lead 3-2. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/Yankees, the official source for your Yankees gear. Peraza will lead off. He hit a home run, a two-run shot in the first inning. Yankees lead 3-2. All the runs in the game via the home run. A solo shot by Judge, a two-run shot by Stanton, and a two-run shot by Peraza. Bet you the Yankee decision makers are saying, well, where was this hitting? Because they believed in this guy.
A lot of people did, including myself. Right when he showed up, you saw a lot of skills.
1-2. Ground ball foul. And Rosario makes a front. You know, it looked in the first inning as if Escara was calling the pitches. And now you can see Fried reaching to his left side. And he seems to be calling the pitches. Just missed. Remember, the Yankees do not have any challenges remaining. Got him. One away here in the fourth.
Well, he's trying to get this cutter in, but he gets it up out of the strike zone. And Peraza gets under it, but he's trying to jam him with this cutter, but not able to get it in off the plate.
And a strike to Vaughn Grissom. Grounded back to Fried in the first inning. Angels go home after this game. They start a homestand against the Padres, who are red hot, and the Blue Jays, who are injured up and down the lineup and in their pitching staff. 0-2.
Vaughn Grissom, he was the player Boston received for the big Chris Sale deal. It just didn't work out with Boston. He had like 190 last year. Traded him to L.A.
Did he go? Nope. Two and two. Fried came into the game not having allowed a home run, and then promptly in the first inning, a 2-run shot by Peraza, but he has settled down. Fried makes the play. He is so good with the glove.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you take it for granted, but boy, he gets off the mound so quick. Gives him an opportunity to not have to barehand things, catch it, take his time, and make a strong throw.
There's Nolan Shanoel. 1-0. Looked like Little wanted to call that a strike, decided against it. 2-1.
Max Fried really kind of searching right now. He's kind of missing with his cutter. He's kind of had to miss with his breaking ball, but he's got seven pitches to work on. So he's kind of in search mode as far as what I can go to when I need it.
Ground ball fielded by Rosario, and he makes the play for the final out. As the Angels go down in order, we go to the bottom of the fourth. Yankees hockey jersey mat is back for 2026. Come out to Yankee Stadium tomorrow night when the Yankees take on the Royals. First 18,000 guests in attendance. See the Yankees hockey jersey, courtesy of StubHub. Tickets going fast, so get yours today, Yankees.com. Tri-State Cadillac scoreboard, Yankees 3 and the Angels 2. Rosario will lead off. Sandlin's still in there and deals a strike. One and one. So the Yankees yesterday won their second game in which they were trailing coming into the ninth inning. And they had 3 of those all of last year, so they have 2 already just in this series. And the Yankees have noticed they've suffered through 4 walk-offs this year, 2 walk-off wins, and they've also had 2 walk-off losses. A lot of close games for the Yanks so far in the early going. 3-2 on Ahmed Rosario.
So we went over yesterday that, the Major League logo was Harmon Killebrew. Jerry West was the NBA. So where did the walk-off come from, Michael? Do you know?
I do know.
You do?
From Dennis Eckersley.
Ah, here we go. You know what? I can't even tell the story or give you
So
a
you
hint.
do know this?
I do.
Oh, I thought you were just asking me if I knew.
It was an original.
Gotta set this up in rehearsals.
You blew it already.
Tell us.
Originally, it was the walk-off piece.
Right.
And it was kind of a disgrace to the pitcher because he had to walk off while everybody was celebrating, right?
And that's what it means. Everybody thinks it's walking off as a winner, but it's the pitcher.
It's the long walk off the field while the guys are celebrating, but now a walk-off is a positive thing. Like, wow, this is cool. The Yankees walked it off, but that's where it started, Michael. Thanks for letting us know.
And Eckersley had one of the most painful walk-offs of all time because of Kirk Gibson.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it for Sandlin. They'll call on a left-hander as the bullpen game continues for the Angels. Paul's going to tell me more stuff I should know
need to go on
when we come back. It's time to name that Yankee, brought to you by Prevision, made for your brain. Now, this is a 6. One game over 500, 3.83 ERA, 299 starts. So 81 to 90 with the Angels, and then 90, 91, and 93 with the Yankees. I think I might know it.
I think I know this. I think I know this.
Well, you were here in 93, so you were a teammate. You better know. We don't want another Bob McDonald, do we?
Bob.
Aldegari. Dan Aldegari comes on. They're carrying 2 lefties in the bullpen today. Three and 0. And he walks. Well, Jazz is a threat to go. And a strike. One and 1 count from Caballero. Singled in the second. 4 for 12 in this series. Aldegari is 24 years old, and he's from Italy, Verona, Italy. First major league pitcher born and raised in Italy. Called up Tuesday from the AAA Salt Lake Bees. And he made 2 starts for Francisco Cervelli and Team Italy in the WBC. And Francisco came up before the first game and said hello.
I still at this so impressed of where he is in life. We just appreciate what he did in the major leagues, but he's so proud of what happened with Team Italy. I could see him being the manager for that team for a while.
And he's still a young man. He's 40 years old, and he did a great job with that team.
I thought it was funny because he was talking about managing and things that he picked up in New York and things like that. He wanted every one of his players to wear suits to the ballpark. So he called Pasquantino from Kansas City, and they all got. And then Armani called him. It's too late. We got him elsewhere, but that'd be a good place to get your suits in Italy, right?
Anywhere. Just ask Pat Riley. Well, it's funny because they asked Armani if they would provide the suits, and they said no.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started to get hot, and they wanted the Final Four teams, and Armani said, we'll do it now. And they said, no, we're good.
Yeah, we've taken care of it.
And he said he picked up that from the Yankee organization. He said, it's just a way to carry yourself. And if you look good, you get more respect. And, before the home opener, Judge texted all of his teammates and said, everybody's wearing a suit tomorrow in the ballpark.
I did hear that. And, there was something to be said about that. It was always a cool thing. And, we had to wear sport coats in Cincinnati. But when I came here, you had to wear a suit and tie on the plane. I didn't care if it was 100 degrees or 30. You weren't wearing it. So when you got to the next city and strutted into the lobby in the old days, with your suits on, I mean, it was a presence. The Yankees are in town, and I always did, the fans, because right when I got here, Mattingly was, the first to walk in, and it was like we were behind him, and it just, the fans were waiting for that.
Two and one on J.C. Escaro, who struck out looking in the second. He had runners on second and third, 2 outs in that situation. Aldeguerri is holding Jazz Chisholm at first. And there is the first hit for J.C. Escaro.
To be able to get outs, even when he's still searching for pitches that he can throw for good strikes.
1-2. 2-2. High fly ball right field. Adele back on the track, leaps, and he makes the play. That one's easy for him. That wasn't even a home run, Paul.
Well, we're talking about Adele. He's really worked on his defense. He's also always been there, but he has become a solid player for the Angels.
Well, tomorrow on Yes, the Yankees kick off a weekend set against Bobby Witt Jr. and the Royals. Tune in beginning at 5 for extended coverage, starting with the new shows Yankees Rewind and Yankees Lineup presented by CarShield. Then it's Audi batting practice and the FanDuel pregame, leading up to first pitch at 7:05 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Bobby Witt Jr. is a special talent.
Yeah, another star coming in, and you just poster him up there against Aaron Judge. It's never a disappointment when some of the better players walk in here to Yankee Stadium. Everybody seems to kind of want to bring their A game when they come to Yankee Stadium.
We go to the 5th inning. Bottom third of the Angels' order against the Yankees' ace at this point, Max Fried. Speaking of aces, Garrett Cole will have his first rehab game tomorrow night when AAA Somerset will face Reading. So that means it's probably a month away, a little bit more, because you can extend it 10 days for Tommy John surgery rehabs. But he's getting close.
Mm-hmm. Saw him in the clubhouse today, and it's just it's going to be exciting to see Garrett Cole back on the mound again. I mean, you remember how dominant he was, how much he helped some of the younger pitchers as well.
And if you wonder why is AA and not AAA, because it's which teams are home. So next week, Anthony Volpe will be going up to AAA because Scranton is home. Mm-hmm. Because they don't want a rehab assignment where they have to travel to a ballpark that doesn't have the facilities that you need. Check swing, foul back by Lowe.
And Paul, Carlos Rodon, as we know, is also on the mend. He was throwing a side session at the stadium today, just a little bullpen. He's going to throw another live before going out on a rehab assignment. The Yankees wanted a bit more of a controlled environment one last time. As long as that goes well, he is also going to join Anthony Volpe and Garrett Cole. And guys, that's going to be an intimidating team till it's all said and done before those guys get back.
I'm sure that they will sell a lot of tickets for those games to see Garrett Cole pitch in a AA ballpark.
Yeah, Carlos, I actually saw him in the clubhouse a couple of days ago also, and it's just, he has learned to pitch, the past couple of years. So now that he's, can get healthy, full extension on his arm, I mean, he should be in a good spot to come back and help this Yankee staff.
He had a pretty good year last year when he couldn't even straighten his arm out.
Yeah.
Michael, to that point, I was going to say to Paul, Carlos Rodon this spring said, my arm has not moved like this in years. He didn't realize how bad it was and what he was dealing with when he was pitching. It took him quite some time to get the feel of the new, everything that he could do with his arm. And it's still going to be a process for him, feeling it out on the mound, realizing that it's a little different than what he's been dealing with the last 2 years.
Ground ball charged by Rosario. Makes the throw and gets the hustling Teodosio on an 8-pitch inning. 1-2-3. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. Audi scoreboard, it's 3-2. Yankees lead. And Aaron Judge leads off against Sam Aldeguerri. Judge, Bellinger, and Stanton. Bottom of the 5th inning. 1-1. Way out in front of the changeup. 1-2. I'm sure that pitching in high-stakes games, like Aldeguerri did for Team Italy, that benefits him.
I thought the same thing. A lot of the minor leaguers you could see were in that WBC. I think that's great experience, you know, to play in big moments and can only help.
In a game against Brazil, Aldeguerri had 17 swings and misses, second most for anyone in the whole tournament. Christopher Sanchez had a game with 18 for the Dominican Republic. Still 2-2. Popped up, shallow right. Who's going to get it? Oh, what a play by Shonowell. Took a base hit away from Judge. Adele could not get there, and Shonowell with an over-the-shoulder catch.
Yeah, that was just kind of a stab at the end, and Shonowell knew by looking at Odell right there, he took a look, just to stab at it. That is a great play, because Aaron Judge, the outfielders, have to play it a little bit deeper, obviously. He's all by himself right there.
Here's Bellinger. Single and a walk and a run scored. Line into the camera well.
Almost sat down on that swing. He had to pull it so much.
Right down the line. Foul. And down goes Bellinger.
We got Cody Bellinger all inside, and you know, after you see so many pitches from a lefty inside, you start to open up a little bit and try to get to one was even off the plate in.
So here's Stanton, second home run of the year, a 2-1 shot in the third that gave the Yankees the lead. And it was his first home run after 15 homerless games. Second on the year, his 455th of his career. Will he get to 500 this year? Has to stay healthy.
Yeah, there's so many players. I mean, look at the other side, Mike Trout. It's all about the number of games that you can get out there and play healthy.
Let's take a look at the Optimum Fiber famously fast replay.
Wow, that will go 446 for you, Michael. Dead center field.
Left field. Lowe is there, puts it away, and Aldeguerri retires the Yankees in order, and we'll go to the sixth inning.
Justin Shackle with your Audi Studio update. Tigers and Royals, bottom two, runner on, 2 out. Spencer Torkelson cranking it down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Matt Vierling scores from second to make it 1-0 Detroit. Now tied up at 1 in the bottom of the fourth. Royals begin a 3-game set in the Bronx tomorrow, Michael.
Well, thank you, Justin. Around the majors, Mason Miller is off to a great start. Ohtani yesterday gave up his first run. He's 2-0, 0.50 as the Dodgers beat the Mets. And Bobby Witt Jr., after 18 games, 254 with 7 ribbies. So you know there's a lot of hitting to come. Montefiore Einstein scoreboard as we go to the 6th. Neto leads off. Funny story about Mason Miller, who throws so hard. The Padres contacted him during the offseason and said, we're thinking about maybe making you a starter. what do you think? And he said, no, I'm good.
Doing okay where I am.
He said, I think it's best for the team and for me, because he did start his career with the A's as a starter and kept getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he throws so hard, and the Padres said, oh, that's fine. We're just running it by you. And he said he'd rather not do it.
That's a pretty good start, huh? Wise decision.
And the Padres are playing quite well, trying to keep pace with the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's one of those times where, you know, you're one of the better teams in baseball, but you're stuck behind the best team in baseball at this point. So they're going to fight every day to stay close to the Dodgers.
Down the left field line. And it's foul. Well, it's time for DirecTV new era. Since 2024, among shortstops, he's 6th in home runs, 6th in stolen bases, 10th in OPS, and 5th in WAR. He's a pretty good player. And took total blame on the missed pop-up in the bottom of the 9th inning. He said, I'm a shortstop, I've got to make that play.
Mm-hmm.
High drive into left center. And Grisham makes the play.
Well, you just mentioned it, and that's an in-between ball right there. Center fielder has priority. You know, you're taught that the center fielder takes everything in the outfield with its in-between. The shortstop, the same in the infield.
So here's Mike Trout, 0 for 1 with a walk. This will be the 80th pitch for Fried. 1-0. To show you that Fried is not as sharp as he normally is, and you look, he's given up 1 run, right? Mm-hmm. He has only thrown 9 of 20 first pitch strikes.
Yeah, he has not had one pitch that he just has dominated with, and it just, again, goes to show you how good a pitcher is, how he can get outs on days that, you know, he doesn't have his 100% control. Boy, you can't believe how, you know, just... You hear about Max Fried when he was down in Atlanta, but watching him pitch time and time again, just how good he is.
Trout trying to tie it. 2-2. Boy, does he swing with ferocity.
Yeah, you see that back foot go back and then just let it go, because he's in a good spot by staying back and really posting up against that front leg.
Count is full. So Trout works the walk. Yankees being very careful with him. So Fried, who usually has unerring control, has walked him twice. So I'm not saying they're intentional, but he's not going to make a mistake over the plate.
Yeah, he just got slipped a curveball there. You know, tried to fool him with a backdoor curveball and just wasn't able to execute the pitch. But again, having Mike Trout up there with nobody on in front of him gives you that opportunity to try things, and if they don't work, it'll take a walk.
Inside, another first pitch ball. 1-0 on Adele.
You know, what a different lineup, too. I mean, Dell's swinging the bat well. Trout's had an unbelievable series, but Soler, who you talked about last night, you know, starting that suspension, taking him out of the lineup, I mean, that's a big void for the Angels. He was swinging the bat well.
And serving the second game of a 4-game suspension. He was suspended for 7 initially for the fight he had against the Braves. He appealed, playing while he appealed, and they heard the appeal with the Angels here in New York, and they cut it down to 4, which is a big cut down from 7, but he is missing these games now. Two and one on Adele. Grounded shortly. Nice play by Rosario. Fires to second, and the ball gets away from Chisholm. And backing up is Judge. Rosario saved a double, but couldn't get off a good throw to second to get the force on Trout.
Yeah, this ball was hit hard, and by stabbing it and keeping it in the infield, you're right, Michael. A double and possibly a run with Mike Trout's speed, but he definitely had him with a good throw. This ball was over 105 miles an hour off the bat, so not a lot of time for Rosario, but a great stab just in there and throw.
So now first and second with one man out. Double-barreled action for the Yanks.
You know, this is where we were just talking about Soler. I mean, this is Grissom in an opportunity where, don't get me wrong, he's 3 for 10 on the, on the year, but Soler is a presence in the lineup, and he'd be up right now.
So that scored a single for Adele. First and second, one man out. Matt Blake has a talk with Fried, also gives the reliever some time to throw in the bullpen. And now here is Oswald Peraza, 4 for 8 in this series with a couple home runs. 2-run home run on the first against Fried. Oh and 1.
First inning, after a couple easy outs, boom. They tried to get that cutter in and didn't quite get it in. And then Peraza, we've talked about, is really quick inside. And you got to make sure that you have kind of set that pitch up or get it in off the plate.
One and 1. Fried would like to get out of this inning. He's at 92 pitches. Line right field. That's a base hit. That's going to tie the score and maybe more. Trout scores, and they're holding Adele at third. It's an RBI double for Peraza, and the game is tied at 3.
Another good swing from Peraza. I mean, he showed he could pull the ball, and now, again, the ball didn't quite get inside. He was able to stay inside and shoot the ball the other way.
And this double is the one that knocks out Fried. So Fried is done. Runners on second and third, his responsibility. Yanks go to the bullpen. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Optimum Fiber, famously fast fiber internet. By your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com. And by the New York Lottery, this could be your lucky play. Now, Jim Fragosi's big claim to fame, despite being a very good player, is that he's traded to the Mets for a guy by the name of Nolan Ryan.
Heard of that guy?
Yeah. Fernando Cruz will come on to face Grissom. Yankees bring the infield in. Inside. So Fried obviously cannot get a win. Game is tied, but those runners on base, they're his responsibility. Hit shortly and off the glove of the diving Rosario, and it goes into left field. Adele scores. Peraza moves to third. It's an RBI single for Grissom, and it's 4-3 LA.
Well, hard contact to the left side ends up going off of Rosario's glove into left field. Been a good play if he made it, but wasn't able to glove it again. In a day game, you kind of pick up the ball a little bit late because of the sun, the glare. We thought playing infield was much different on a day game.
Yankees back up for the double play. Runners on first and third. And a strike. Other than the 7-1 middle game, it's been a seesaw battle between the Yankees and the Angels, back and forth. So Fried getting knocked out with one out here in the sixth is his first start this year, going fewer than 6 1/3 innings. And it's his first start allowing more than 3 runs. Blocked there by Escara. Line foul. The double by Peraza was the first run scored not via the home run, and then followed by Grissom's single, another one. Great pitch as Shawnow kind of waved through it for strike 3.
Yeah, he had hung a couple split fingers, and this is his true split finger. Watch the movement down and away right at the end. Unhittable when he can throw that good.
Here's Travis d'Arnaud. He's 0 for 2 today. Ground ball to second, pop up to first. Peraza at third. Grissom is at first.
Anytime you can come out of the bullpen, and you gave up the 1 run, but if you can shut this down here, you're saving a run. Give that offense a chance to get right back up there, try to tie this thing and take the lead.
And that just hit the outside corner. 2-1. Ball 3. His money pitch is that nasty splitter, but you have to be wary because you're putting all your trust in Escar to block it. Runner at third base, that's another run if it gets by. But he needs that pitch to be thrown. That's his out pitch. And he walks the bases loaded now.
Well, there's a couple pitchers. It's all about location. Cruz, one of them. I mean, if he's in the strike zone, he can be extremely successful. And you've seen a ton of strikeouts on the split finger if he gets to that point with 2 strikes. Angels, since he's come into this series, have taken that pitch a lot.
Low fouls it back.
Low much better against right-handed pitchers. 178 against lefties, and it was nearly 270 against righties. So totally different hitter. Good splitty there.
0-2.
Yeah, this is you don't mess around here, Michael, and don't try to throw the perfect one and bounce it to the screen. You know, you can't waste pitches here. You don't want to allow Lowe to get back into this count.
Good concentration there by Cruz as Peraza, like he was taking off for home plate. Cruz did not flinch. He's trying to get him to flinch, which would be a balk, and that would get a run home. Rosario's way off the bag at third, so Peraza can roam free. Javilli is warming up for the Yanks. Pop foul. Giving it a look is Rice. Way back in the seats. 4 runs on 4 hits for the Angels. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Yankees. Top of the 6th inning here at the stadium.
Hey, you really don't see Cruz going away from that split finger. Now that you've got 2 strikes, you've seen a couple in a row. And another one.
One and 2. And the righty deals. Another foul ball.
Well, that should get him off the split finger. He did show him a fastball there after 5 just split finger after split finger.
This will be the 8th pitch. Two and 2. That was a splitter that got away. Bases loaded with Angels. Broken bat looper into center field. It's going to drunk in for a base hit. 2 runs will score. Josh Lowe fights it off and gets it into center field. A big hit for the Angels, and it is now 6-3 LA.
Wow, this is just bad luck if you're Cruz. I mean, you made the pitch, you broke a bat in half, and it just out of nowheresville. The split finger is diving down right off the end of the bat. Just dunked it into center field. There's no way to defend things like this. You just got to kind of shake your head and say, hopefully our offense can get us back in this.
Frazier will come up and pinch hit for Teodosio. Four runs in the 6th inning. First and second, 2 outs. And there's a strike to Frazier. 9th batter to come to the plate for the Angels. Oh and 2. Foul bat. Frazier has an on-base percentage of .464 in the early going, hitting .318. Swing and a miss, got him. But the Angels get 4 big runs. They leave 2 men on base who go to the bottom of the 6th. This series has kind of been like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Monday, the Yankees won 11-10. They scored 3 runs in the 9th. Tuesday, Angels won 7-1. Trout, Adele, and Soler back-to-back-to-back home runs in the first. Last night, another come from behind for the Yankees. They walked it off on Caballero's 2-run walk-off double. And today, Angels lead 6-3. And Oswald Peraza, the former Yankee, haunting his ex-team. 2 for 3, a home run, and 3 runs batted in. Montefiore Einstein scoreboard, 6-3 Angels, and Ben Rice hits one deep to right center. And that ball is gone into the Yankee bullpen. One pitch, he redirected it. A home run for Rice, his 5th of the year. And the Yankees now trail by 2.
Well, if you like offense, you're going to like this series, huh, Michael? You're right. It's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. It's back and forth. And Ben Rice, off his bat, you had a question. Did he get enough? Well, when he hits in the bullpen, yeah, he got enough. Well, breaking ball didn't run away far enough, right off the barrel. You know, you really got to be in a good spot to stay with this pitch away, breaking away from you from a lefty.
Yankees like to see Rice do damage against lefties. So his 5th home run of the year, that knocks out Aldegari, and the Angels go to the bullpen. Well, tonight we've got live minor league baseball on Yes as the Somerset Patriots take on the Reading Fighting Phils. Watch Anthony Volpe take the field for the Patriots as he continues his rehab assignment. Catch all the action tonight at 6:30 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Sam Bachman is the new pitcher for the Angels, and he deals a strike to Rosario. One run in here in the 6th. Rosario fouls it off. So with the righty on the mound, Boone staying with Rosario. Got a couple of lefties on the bench he could go to, McMahon and Wells. But he trusts Rosario even against righties. Bachman deals. Fights it off and grounds it to first. Taking himself, 1 down. Well, let's check out one of today's player props brought to you by Bet365, where winning is everything. Jazz Chisholm, plus 725 to hit 1 or more home runs in this game.
Well, you're getting to the point where you have to bet on Jazz because sooner or later, one's going to happen, right?
He's walked twice today, still waiting for his first home run of the year. Right field. Adele will put it away. 2 down. Well, fans go to @Yes Network on Yes on X and vote for the Montefiore Einstein Player of the Week. Is it number 1? That man, Jose Caballero. Number 2, Trent Grisham. Or number 3, Aaron Judge.
It's almost unfair when Aaron Judge is on your team to try to win some of these awards, huh?
Caballero swings and misses. Now the Rice home run against Aldeguerri, first left-on-left extra base hit for the Yankees this season. Last year, the team's lefties had the 3rd highest slug against left-handed pitching, behind the Dodgers and the Phillies. And that is punched up the middle, a base hit for Caballero's 2nd hit of the afternoon.
Well, when Caballero gets on base, the first thing you think about, well, you got an opportunity to get to second by the stolen base. He's already got 1 today on the back end. Lined up the middle. We got seven stolen bases now on the year. That ball spin and just no bite to it. Just kind of spins out over the middle of the plate.
And he goes. The throw to second is not in time. 8th stolen base for Caballero, and he's in scoring position for Escara.
Yeah, it's so fun to have speed on your team because you have an opportunity for this. He gets a walking lead. He's off to the races. I just think, that's a good throw up the line. Just not in time.
Pretty close. The pitch was a ball to Escara. Picked up his first hit of the season, a single in the 4th inning. So he's 1 for 13. They're going to pick him off, and they got him. Oh, do they have him? He was ranging too far off the bat, and Darno called the signal. Bachman turned around, and he was out by plenty. Yankees get a run back with the home run by Rice. We go to the 7th inning.
There's a good look at Garrett Cole in case you missed it earlier. He is going to start his rehab assignment tomorrow with the Somerset Patriots, the first of several that he will make. And that is your injury report brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Still the target date for him, end of May, beginning of June. But as Michael mentioned, the rehab time is 30 days that he has. If he needs more time thereafter, being that he's recovering from Tommy John surgery, they could add an additional 10 days if they need it. If he still needs more, Michael, they can keep adding 10 days until he feels ready to come back. But something tells me, knowing Garrett Cole, he is going to be back sooner rather than later.
Thank you, Meredith. Top of the order for the Angels against the new Yankee pitcher, Angel Trevigi. Neto is 0 for 3, 2 for 14 in this series. 1-2.
The Yankees are wanting him to throw that changeup a little bit more, and that ball just darted out of the strike zone. Always been able to throw hard, Michael, but his fastball for some reason was getting hit. Now they're starting to mix that changeup in a lot more.
And down goes Neto. Check out the Yankee bullpen budget brought to you by Citizens. Make sense of your money with Citizens. Well, Bednar is available. They've already used Cruz. Probably want to stay away from Hill, but he only threw 8 pitches last night. And Hendricks pitched a lot. I think he is not available today. So here's Trout against Trevigi. 23 years old, 3rd major league season, called up yesterday. 5 games at AAA with the Rail Riders. 8 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, no runs. Traded from the Rockies to the Yankees on January 28th for first baseman T.J. Rumfeld, who's actually doing well for the Rocks.
this is one of those guys, I mean, that you look at, Michael, and like, how do you get hit? I mean, what, a 13 ERA in spring training? I mean, first ball he whistled in there at 99, and then he threw a good changeup.
Just stays alive. That's what you do with the Rockies, but the Yankees, we use this phrase a lot, and I apologize if we do. They look under the hood of those numbers, and some of the things that they saw, they feel that they could make him a better pitcher. We'll see if that works out. One and two. Trout's walked twice today. So now the count levels at 2-2.
You're looking on paper, Michael. You got 99 fastball, 94 slider, and 89 change or 90. I mean, it's on paper you shouldn't give up hits.
Except you just did. Another home run for Trout. Whoa! Did he crush that deep into the bleachers? It's his 5th home run of this series. He is putting on a show.
Well, parents back in town, in the ballpark, and you're right. I mean, this is something to watch. They haven't been cheap. You saw that changeup by 3 or 4 times in the count, and sooner or later, you know, to a great hitter, you got to try something else. This was an absolute bomb.
I don't know, Paul. No, it's got to be in the high 400s. I mean, that was way out there.
It looked like Mike Trout having fun again playing baseball, being healthy to this point.
I mean, we're seeing vintage Trout in this 4-game set. And the interesting thing about Trout, even with all the injuries the last couple of years, when he played, right, he still has like a 900 OPS. Seventh home run of the year, 5th against the Yankees in this series. .446 feet, so I thought it was more.
Well, that's, wow.
You knew it.
Sounded like it was more. Again, see to load that back foot before, separate a little bit more, and then get back to where he wants to be, just posting up against that front leg.
Quick note on Joe Adell. We told you about the 3 catches he made to rob home runs in one game. And we told you the Hall of Fame wanted his glove, and he did not want to give the glove, but he decided he gave it today because his backup glove is the glove he used in 2024, and he liked that one, so he's going to use that glove. And the other glove, the one he made those catches with, Cooperstown bound. Swing and a miss.
You see the change-up grip, and he kind of throws it like a screwball. Really throws his hand around the baseball. It just did not get out of the strike zone.
Ouch. In this series, Paul, he does not get all that affected by off speed.
No. No, and especially late in the count. You've noticed he hit a curveball late in the count for a home run. That changeup late in the count, and all that tells me is once he's seen the pitch a couple times in a count, that it helps you so much as a hitter.
Judge probably thinking, all right, it's my turn now.
All right. Well, it's been You know, a lot of times you build up these, and obviously the importance of the game is the Yankees win or lose. But I mean, what Judge and Trout have done in this series, you just can't wait to watch them come up to the plate again.
This series with Judge and Trout, for those boxing fans, it reminds me of that round Hearns and Hagler.
Yeah,
just throwing bombs at each other. Three and one on Peraza. If it wasn't for Trout, Peraza would be the story of these 4 games. He has put on a show offensively. Today, a double and a home run. So 6 for 16 for Trout, 5 of them left the yard, 9 ribbies. Judge 5 for 16, 4 home runs, and 5 runs batted in. Strike 3, and Peraza is challenging.
The batter is challenging the pitch.
ABS powered by T-Mobile.
Challenging. Why are you taking all your stuff off?
Because he knew it was going to be a ball.
Yeah.
Pitch
Wow.
the ball.
Way down.
Anaheim has 1 challenge.
So the Angels retain their 1 challenge. Yankees are out of challenges. ABS challenges. Here's Grissom. 7-4 Angels. He goes around. What a series for that guy, Mike Trout. A lot of family and friends. Born in Millville, New Jersey.
This is the Millville Meteor, is what they call it.
Mom and dad. How could they not enjoy what they're seeing of their son? In his 16th big league season. Runner goes. Throw to second. Safe. That was a pretty good throw. And I think the umpire is saying that Jazz blocked the bag.
Right. You wonder if the throw took him into the base. No, it didn't.
Yeah, but there's a place for him to go. I mean, that's a tough call.
I mean, his hand was never interrupted by going forward. Well, watch the right hand.
Yeah. And Grissom works a walk. So after a strikeout of Neto, Cervihi running into some problems. And here comes Boone. With Shanoel due up, he's going to go to the left-hander. Yankees trying to keep it right where it is. They're down by 3 in the top of the 7th. Time to name that Yankee. Here are the clues. Paul, you got this one, right?
Mike Witt, I remember actually playing left field when he was pitching right when I got here. He was on the mound.
Yankees got him in the trade from the Angels. They sent Dave Winfield to Anaheim. And he had a perfect game on the final game of the season catcher was Bob Boone, Aaron's dad. Got a combined no-hitter with Mark Langston as well. And then gets George Brett there. Mike Witt with the Yankees, 8.9, 4.91. Two-time All-Star with the Angels. Finished third in 86 for the American League Cy Young. So we named that Yankee. Here's Nolan Shonowell against Ryan Yarbrough. Strike. And that's challenged. ABS powered by T-Mobile. Thought it was outside. Let's see if he's right. He's right. So that's overturned.
Anaheim has one challenge.
Two 2-0. And a strike, 2-1. Popped up, foul territory. Rosario drifts over, makes the play, and that'll do it. But the Angels get another run. And how did they get it? They get it with Mike Trout. Another home run, is fifth of this 4-game series. So at the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Angels lead this one 7-4, but we're going to stay right here as we honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you rise, remove your caps, and please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest. United States Navy Seaman First Class Martin Charles Anise, who is 103 years old. From Morris Plains, New Jersey, he served in World War II. The Yankees say thank you, Martin, for your sacrifice and for your service to our nation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join us in singing along with Robert Merrill's rendition of God Bless America.
It's the Ford Studio Update with Justin and Todd. And Todd, we've seen Judd, Stanton, and Ben Rice all homer today, and yet the Yankees find themselves trailing the Angels going to the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, this Angel team has been a pain in the butt, to be honest with you. They're finding ways to get on base. Oswald Peraza, 3 RBIs, a big home run. Just seems like they're finding ways to get guys in and get them over and in, especially.
We'll see if the Yankees can make a comeback. Todd and I will have you covered on the postgame with Meredith. Right now, we go back to Michael, Paul, and Meredith in the Bronx.
Well, thank you, guys. 7-6-0 for the Angels, 4-7-0 for the Yanks. Suter started, bullpen game for the Angels. Trout been amazing. 5th home run of the series. Max Fried went 5 1/3. Aaron Judge hit his 4th home run in this series. That was in the 1st inning. So Escara will lead off as Bachman still in for the Angels. Paul, if they're up by 3 in the 9th inning, do they dare bring in Romano again?
I was thinking in the middle of the game, it's going to be a bullpen game, obviously. But do you really trust Romano if you have a lead? He's given up 2 of them, and the history against the Yankees has not been good by any means.
Well, Pomeranz looked so good the other day. Maybe they used Pomeranz.
Right. We were talking the other day, and Pomeranz had a good 8th inning. Where you had Big G leading off, but you had 2 lefties behind him, where you almost questioned using him last night.
And Michael, this has really turned into a house of horrors for Jordan Romano. You look at the fact that he had retired 15 of 17 batters coming into this series, just 1 of the 9 he has faced here in the Bronx so far with both of those walk-offs. I asked Jazz Chisholm Jr. why he thinks this team has seen Romano so well, and he said a lot of these guys have faced him often. They know what to expect. It's one thing to use a traject machine and get an idea and watch video. It's a whole other thing if you're comfortable in the batter's box and you kind of know what he is going to throw and how he is going to attack you. It doesn't mean you're always going to succeed, but it gives you a certain level of comfort when you get in that box.
And Paul, I think it works the other way. If you can't hit a pitcher, it gets in the hitter's minds. If a pitcher can't get out hitters, it gets in the pitcher's mind more.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, there's certain guys that from some rhyme or reason you just hit well, and other guys that you can't figure out.
And a strike. Fly ball. Frazier. Out number 2. Help America's Heroes. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org. Well, now it's Judge's serve.
Yeah, and he's in a spot in the game. Anaheim with LA with a 3-run lead that there's no reason to pitch around him, so he should get a good pitch to hit.
Oh, and 1.
I knew I was going to do it a few times in this series, Michael. The Anaheim, I mean, it is what it is, right?
It's tough. Oh, and 2 on Judge. Judge, home run in the 1st. Leads the majors with 8 home runs. 1 for 3. 1 and 2. Swing and a miss. Judge down on strike, so Bachman gets the Yankees in order. We're going to go to the 8th. It is 7-4 Angels. Now we go to the 8th inning on the Hyundai scoreboard. The Angels lead the Yankees 7-4, 7-6-0, leading 4-7-0. Yarbrough came in to get the final out of the 7th. He remains in. And first up is Travis d'Arnaud. Fly ball into right center. Judge is there. 1 pitch, 1 out. Now we've got to tell our viewers, Paul. I mean, Paul had a nickname that was given to him by the late owner of the Yankees, George Steinbrenner. Called them the Warriors.
Oh, my goodness. Are we going there?
And Paul has lived up to that today.
It was a bad entrance to the ballpark today.
I'm telling you, I'm not making this up. Paul has to be playing in pain. I can't even say it. I'm so shook up. You want to take it from here, Paul?
You know, it's just an awkward thing. I'm walking down the tunnel. The music's blaring in the visitors' clubhouse. It's like a garage door. It's open.
It's a weight room.
Yeah, the weight room. I thought somebody called me. And so I kind of stopped and looked back and kept walking. Well, somebody had left one of those little jump boxes out in the hall, about 2 feet. And as I stepped on it, I was like disoriented and I hit it. Just gashed my leg wide open, fell to the concrete. The EMS people down there came running. Thank goodness for them. And I said, you know, I'm going to call Stevie. I'm going to call Stevie Donnie, who's going to fix me up. So I went over there and he bandaged me up. And it is what it is, Michael. It's not good fun to get old. Things just fall apart.
But, I mean, it ripped your leg to such an extent you could see the bone. I mean, there was blood all over the place.
There's nothing there on your shin. It's just, you know what? Well, like I said, it wasn't the finest entrance to the ballpark today.
You are something else. I mean, for you to be playing through this, because I know you're in pain. It's heavily wrapped right now, but your sock is full of blood.
Yeah, I feel like Kurt Schilling up here. I appreciate you rubbing my feet during the game. It's making me feel a lot better.
Whatever you need. And it could have been worse, but you had the wherewithal to hold your hands out.
Yeah, that could have got ugly. Things happen in life real quick, Mike.
Yeah, you're having a great day.
I really was. Had a great workout, didn't get hurt, and I can't even get to the booth.
And when he walks in the booth, everybody, I said, well, you pull muscle lifting, and he goes, and he lifted, his pants up, and the whole thing is wrapped up in red and soaked with blood. Unbelievable. Frazier rips one down the right field line foul. I thought that you were gonna just tap out, and then I was gonna get a chance to do a Scully game by myself.
Scully?
Yeah.
So you were hoping for the
No, I just wanted the best for you, Paul. Just the best for you. So if you had to go, I would have done the game alone.
All right.
With help from Meredith, obviously. I'm glad you're okay. But wow.
Hey, nothing that a nice Italian dinner won't fix tonight, right?
Wow. And Frazier gets plunked.
Frazier didn't even move.
He's not near the pain that you're in right now.
Yeah, he's still running.
So Stevie Donahue, who's been here forever, actually offered Paul a painkiller. Paul said, no, I'll have a glass of wine tonight.
So that'll help.
Here's Neto. I hope you feel better. Oh and 1. And it's challenged. ABS powered by T-Mobile. Let's take a look. Is it a strike? No, the Angels get good at this.
The ball. Los
And
Angeles
these
has
are
one
missing
down.
by a lot, which is unusual for
That's
Will
a
Little.
big difference there.
If you just joined, the Yankees are out of challenges. They challenged a couple early, got them wrong. Now, one final thing about Paul's injury, there's a picture that he has on his phone of it where you can actually see the bone and all the blood. And I said, we should put that on the air. And I was shot down by everybody. No, people might be having an early dinner or late lunch. I said, oh, come on. But they wouldn't show it. I have to live with that now. Line to left field, it's a base hit for Neto, which is not good because that's going to bring up that man Trout. So first and second, 2 outs, and here is Mike Trout. You've watched them all series. How do you get him out, Paul?
Well, I mean, you've got to pitch ahead. His long counts have been a lot of the times that, he's seen all the pitches and then it ends up in the seats. So, obviously you got to get ahead, and this is not a good situation. You got men on base where, what do you do? He's just shown that he can get to the ball inside and he can cover the off-speed stuff away. So really no hole right now when somebody's this high.
Now, I don't know if you saw that graphic. He's the first visiting player to have 5 home runs in a 4-game set since Ken Griffey in '98. Do you remember that series?
Griffey hit us well, so I don't particularly remember that series, but I remember a lot of home runs that he hit against us. I actually remember an Edgar Martinez double in '95. It was even worse, though, Michael. We went home on.
The Griffey thing was, what, over a 5-game span? So that was 2 different series that season. So here's Trout. 1 for 2, 2 walks. One and 0. Trying to get that out at second, not have to deal with Trout. Angels have 28 runs in the series, 17 of them via the home run.
Yeah, Frazier trying to distract Yarb, and if you're Mike Trout, you got to realize you can't try to steal right here. You got 2 outs. You got Mike Trout who's hot. Let him try to drive you in.
You know, Adam Frazier is really dancing there at second. Trying to sneak behind, and they're going to call a balk because Rice wasn't there.
He's going to go to the base. He has to go to the base. He has to go to the base.
Well, now what they've probably done, now you can walk Trout, right?
Well, you definitely are pitching him different. You either walk him.
What?
Yeah, you just give him not even throw the ball. Maybe he did it on purpose.
That would be forward thinking. And he is going to get intentionally walked, so he took the bat.
Yeah, see, Ben Rice has to go to the base there, and that ends up being a balk because he had to move.
That's a play the Yankees always used to do with Tino.
Andy Pettit and Tino really had a good move over there for that.
So Trout intentionally walked, bases loaded, and another tough hitter in Joe Adell. Strike. Driven out to right field and deep, going back Judge. He's on the track at the wall. See ya. A grand slam for Adell. And it's 11-4 Angels. A big blow.
Yeah, you could see this game just getting out of hand in one swing, and that's the one swing. Adell has been so good. We talked about his power and came into the game hitting 300. He's had a good series and now just got even better with a grand slam.
So now 32 runs for the Angels in the series, and 21 of them via the home run.
Just a fastball, but a little too up in the zone, and he just went the other way. And right-handed hitters have such an advantage. Everybody thinks about Yankee Stadium being a left-hander's paradise, but a righty, as strong as these guys are now, right-handers can use that porch just as well.
So Adell now has multiple hits in 7 of his last 10 games. High fly ball left field. Bellinger puts it away, but the Angels took a big step toward blowing this one up. Hyundai scoreboard 11-4 Angels. Yankees have a big hill to climb as Bellinger leads off here in the bottom of the 8th. Pitch outside from Bachman. Bellinger, Stanton, and Rice coming up in the bottom of the 8th. Shallow left center field. Neto makes the play. Pretty good play by Neto.
Yeah, he was really not calling it screaming, but really waving them off with his arm. And as an outfielder, that can really help, because if you wonder if the infielder can get to it, you really kind of take your eye off of him. This way, as you're coming in, that was allowing you the opportunity to just veer off because he's got it.
Here's Stanton. Stanton with a home run, a 2-run shot in the 3rd inning, gave the Yankees a 3-2 lead at the time. He's 1 for 3. Grounded to third. Peraza, 2 down. There's Ben Rice. Hit a home run off of Aldegary in the 6th. It's his 5th home run of the year. 14th ribby. 1-0. Left field. Frazier runs it down. The Yankees go down quickly here in the 8th. We go to the 9th inning. Well, between innings, Aaron Boone got thrown out by the home plate umpire, Will Little. He wanted an explanation on why that was a balk. And to be brutally honest, Paul, we mentioned that Tino and Andy always ran that play, and Rice was moving toward the bag, so he's just looking for a reason why that was a balk.
Yeah, I got to agree with it, because it's not like he was standing still. He had started momentum towards the base before Yarbrough even, lifted his leg. So,
I mean, you don't have to be anchored at first to receive the throw. You have to be moving toward the bag. It was part of a play. It was called play. And it kind of blew up on the Yankees because they ended up intentionally walking Trout. And here's the play. You can see that's a designed play as he's cutting toward first. I don't think the throw was great.
Yeah, the throw made it look worse. I kind of agree with you. I don't know exactly. The balk's always kind of confusing me. You just scratch your head. It's kind of an umpire's discretion on every time they lift their leg over there to go to first.
And sitting here between innings, Boone was not demonstrative at all.
No.
But you cannot argue a balk. And I think, he waited. He didn't do it in the middle of the inning. He wanted to get a read on why that was called a balk, and Will Little threw him out right away. Up the middle, Jazz Chisholm with a tough hop. And he throws out Grissom.
Wow, seldom do you see a pitcher intentionally not catch a ball. Your natural reaction is to try to stab at it. And Yarbrough looked like he knew where his infielders were and just got out of the way. Didn't even try to field it.
Here's Shonowell. We're in the 9th inning. 11-4 Angels. And a strike. An announced crowd of 38,424 on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. A little matinee baseball in the Bronx. 0-2 on Shonowell. Shonowell's 0 for 4. Ball kind of hit Jazz in the breadbasket. Fouled away. He's feeling it.
It hurts.
Still 0-2. Well, I'm sure in the postgame, Meredith will find out Boone's feelings on that balk.
I mean, there was a distinct movement from Rice heading to first base. It's not like they caught him sleeping over there. It looked like, they were trying to come in behind him. And, I mean, that's not an illegal play.
Fly ball center field, Grisham. Well, we mentioned it after the final out. Get highlights, analysis, clubhouse interviews, and we'll hear from manager. Plus, a look ahead to the series with the Royals begins tomorrow night. That's all coming up on the WB Mason Yankees postgame. Here's Travis d'Arnaud, 0 for 3 with a walk. Told you yesterday, other than 4-4, the Angels have been 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, 5-5, and if they win this one, they'll be 10-10. Consistently 500. How about this stat, Paul? The Angels hit 13 home runs in the series. And if you think that sounds like a lot, that's the most the Yankees have ever allowed in a home series all time.
Wow. 13 home runs, yeah. Well, one thing, it's a 4-game series, but still, another thing, Mike Trout came on the bus.
There's a base hit to left center as d'Arnaud picks up his first hit of the afternoon. And we always say this when we say all time. That goes back to 1903. That's a lot of baseball, a lot of home series.
A lot of time.
And they had allowed 3 home runs in the first 15 games of the year. There's Josh Lowe against Yarborough. They're not holding on d'Arnaud. Fly ball, right center. Judge is there, makes the play, and that will do it. Yankees coming up in the bottom of the 9th inning. They're down by 7. Before game 1, we touted it as a battle of heavyweights, and it's lived up to that. Trout with 5 home runs out of his 6 hits, 9 runs batted in. Judge 5 for 17, 4 of those home runs with 5 runs batted in. So Chase Silseth will try to get the final 3 outs of this one. Once the Yankees rally, this is an odd stat because obviously he's pitched well. The Yankees would be 2-3 in games that Max Fried started. Now this one, you could say, well, he left the runners on base, they scored. The other one's the bullpen kind of blew it. But 2-3 when your ace starts is not what you want.
Well, you got the feeling that if you go through the game scores, I mean, in the 5th inning, you're in the game, you're down a run, you just had trust in the offense, and all of a sudden the 6th inning you give up a 4 spot, but then immediately hit a home run that kind of gets you back where, we still got a chance here. And then the huge grand slam in the 8th that kind of sealed this thing.
Right center field. Adele makes the play. All Yankee games on Yes are streaming live on the Gotham Sports app, included for free with your eligible TV provider subscription. Download and sign into the Gotham Sports app now and check out all the great Yankees content, including game highlights, post-game sound, and much more. Now, when the Angels get on the plane to go to Anaheim tonight, they're going to be kicking themselves, because if their bullpen had done the job, particularly Jordan Romano, they would have swept a 4-game series, and the Yankees have to feel, hey, we dodged a bullet here. They had to come back after trailing in the 9th inning in 2 of these games to get those 2 wins. So the Angels have played very, very well, except for those 2 half innings in this series.
Yeah, the Yankees, I mean, are going through a time where, they lost 5 in a row coming into this series, and then all of a sudden, wins are not easy. They had to battle back and grab a couple here that they probably shouldn't have won, but they did. And now today, you're very confident with Max Fried on the hill. It didn't work out. So, you go into the next series just knowing that you're going to have to battle every single day to get through this.
1-2. Soft ground ball off the bat of Jazz. Peraza makes the play, and the Yankees are down to their final out at the bottom of the 9th. And here's Jose Caballero. 2 for 3 today. Foul back. 0-1. So Judge's home run in the first inning was his 376th career home run. That ties Carlton Fisk for 80th place on the all-time home run list. Judge is going to be passing a lot of people this year and the next couple of years. 8 home runs on the season, which leads the majors. Fouled away. And they're still alive as Caballero picks up his 3rd hit of the afternoon. So he started slowly, and he's starting to pick it up now.
Yeah, he kind of turned the corner in Tampa. We talked earlier in the game, but he is just continually having good at-bats now, hitting the ball solid.
And here is J.C. Escar. He's 1 for 3. Single, couple of strikeouts. The single in the 4th was his first hit of the season. One and one. Now 2-1 as the Yankees try to stage an unlikely rally.
The catcher is challenging the pitch.
Well, that was called the ball, and Darno challenging again. ABS powered by T-Mobile.
The pitch is a strike.
And boy, they're having a good day with the challenge. So that flips the count now to 1-2. Angels still have a challenge remaining. The Yankees are out of challenges.
I think that challenge is going to dictate who wins or loses this game. What do you think?
I think it's a rub-it-in challenge.
Yeah, really. I was just scratching my head myself. Really? It's 11-4.
Check swing, slow roller. Shonowell will flip to Silseth. And is that going to do it, or is that off his foot because no one else is moving? So Little is asking Barksdale, so he says a foul ball. Oh, yep, off his toes. Cam Schlittler goes tomorrow night against Michael Wacha.
Walk off to a good start this year, too.
2-0, 0.43. Fouled away. Kansas City right now is leading Detroit 8-6, and they say the game is in a delay, but Kansas City was trailing most of the game. They've lost 3 in a row and 6 of 8. But they do lead Detroit right now. 1-2. Swing and a miss, and that will do it. A very strange 4-game set where the Yankees came back twice in the bottom of the 9th inning. That man put on a show with 5 home runs in 4 games, leading the Angels to a split of the 4, and today they win 11-4. We'll be back.